If you are a homeowner like me, or if you have just gotten your keys to your new BTO flat, I believe the most important thing you have in your mind is renovation. I have been living in this 38 square meter HDB Type 1 Flexi unit for the past 7 years. And when I first got my keys, just like most of the homeowners, I quickly looked for renovation companies. So I found a renovation company which is through a renovation talk, and I was very impressed with the presentation given by the director. And so I went down to their office to speak to one of their designers. And this company happened to have Case Trust certification. And for your info, Case Trust means it is some kind of a trust mark given by the Consumers Association of Singapore. And that means this company follows proper business practices and it is supposed to be reliable. But I also learned one important lesson. Even if a company have got Case Trust, it doesn't mean that the designer that you work with are very good. So today, this video, I'm going to share with you some of my past renovation experience and hopefully teach you a few tips to avoid some mistakes. So the first thing to bear in mind is that Case Trust doesn't mean that the designer is good. Even though the company have Case Trust, in my case over here, the ID which I have working with did not update me on my kitchen renovation status for quite some time. It is only when I keep pressing and asking for progress that I have the updates. So don't just look at company name. We have to make sure that the designer that we work with is someone responsible, experienced, and also communicates well. Before signing anything on the dotted line, ask the company whether if you can speak to a few more different ID designers. This can give you a chance to compare their style, attitude, and their way of communication. Also, ask for their portfolio. Things like, for example, before and after photos, any projects that are similar to your flat size, or any reviews or testimonials from the past clients. You can also test the way how they communicate. During the first few meetings, try to take note of how they respond to your questions. Do they listen well? Do they explain things clearly? And also, do they follow up? If you notice that they are slow in replying or dismiss some of your concerns, then this could be a warning sign. Ask also about whether if there's any flexibility to switch ID. A good company will definitely say yes. If they hesitate or avoid this question, I think you have to be cautious. Also, try to see if there's any online forums or reviews about the ID. Platforms like Reddit, I believe you can find some comments. Look for the mention of any specific ID, not just the company. Always remember, renovation is a big monetary commitment. And then the next important thing that I believe everyone should do is to know exactly what you want before you start to go to the renovation company. I remember last time I was actually quite fickle-minded. I keep on changing my mind. It is like one fine day I am looking at Scandinavian design, and then the next day I am looking at modern contemporary, and so on and so on. In the end, it makes me feel more confused and unsure. So you should always do your research, look at a few designs and decide properly what exactly you want and stick to your plan. This is very important because if you are unsure, the designer who you meet up with might push their own ideas, and they may upsell you with things that may not be what you want. For example, this TV pedestal over here with the feature wall is something that I totally regret. My designer actually suggested this feature wall, but then after a few years, I have noticed that mold and stains start to appear somewhere here and there in this feature wall. Initially, I don't even know what exactly is a feature wall, but since it was a suggestion by the ID, I decided to spend the money on it, but only to regret it right now. This feature wall is really expensive, and if you make a comparison by just getting a simple TV console from any furniture shop or even IKEA, it is way more cheaper and could help you save a lot more money. So ask yourself, whatever the ID suggests, does this item add any real value? If it doesn't, skip it. The next most important thing to take note is that practical design is always better than aesthetics look. So this is my kitchen, and as you can see, I have got a nice upper cabinet and lower cabinet with the sink and the stove. The thing which most of you don't know is that the upper cabinet area here actually covers the ceiling drainage pipe. It looks nice to cover the drainage pipe. And what happens if really the drainage ceiling pipe leaks? The water will definitely come into contact with the wooden cabinets, and this could cause a lot of trouble because you will need to spend money to remove and hack away that cabinet to fix it. And that means extra money, extra costs, and extra trouble. So always ask the ID, if this thing breaks, how do I repair it? A good ID designer should highlight future maintenance risk. If not, please ask them. And the next important thing I feel helpful is to have an interior designer who have at least some basic Feng Shui knowledge. Now I know this is hard and it is not a requirement for interior designers, but if your ID knows at least some basic Feng Shui, I believe it can give at least some peace of mind for you who is going to stay in your home for a few years. Let me give you one simple example. It has always been a Feng Shui taboo to have the head area of the bed placed against the wall where behind is the bathroom. Why is this so? Because from Feng Shui point of view, the bathroom is a very dirty and unclean negative place. This is because you do your toileting, your shitting, and your showering, washing away the dirt where all the negative things are clouded over here. And when you have the bed head area placed against the wall where behind is the bathroom, it is still not enough to block it. And there have been documented cases where some of these people who have such placements, they reported headaches or even bad poor sleep. Whether you believe it or not, it is still better to play safe. And what happens if your interior designer really suggests this kind of design? What will happen if in a few years' time your health is going to suffer? And the next most important thing is to discuss payment details clearly. I remember last time I had to pay close to about 1K deposit. And then after that, almost about close to 90% of the whole cost after confirming the details of the design. And looking back, I personally feel that this is too much to ask for to pay upfront. So always make sure that you discuss the payment schedule details very properly and write everything down. I believe the normal practice should be progressive payment, which could consist of the deposit, milestone payments, and then the final payment after all defects are being checked. And lastly, don't rush just because they say the price is only for today. I remember last time I told the designer that I want to compare prices with other firms. And then this person tells me that this price is only for today. If I don't settle for it, next day it will go up. And so stupidly, I signed the agreement because of this. I never have a chance to compare the prices with other firms. So now that I realize this, I learned that I should have taken my time. So always remember, no proper quote should expire in one day, and if they pressure you, it is better to walk away. So as a closing summary, renovation is not just about choosing nice designs or nice furnitures or nice tiles or pretty lights. It is about planning things carefully, asking the right questions, and making sure that the people you work with really understand your needs. I hope that by sharing my personal experience, you can avoid some of these mistakes. And take your time, do your homework, and don't be afraid to speak up if something doesn't feel right. Thank you for watching this video.